Today's video is just on one expression we have in Exodus chapter 39. We see here we're coming to the end of the book of Exodus and the end of the tabernacle and its construction. But this verse sort of jumped out at me when I was looking at chapter 39. Then Moses looked over all the work, and indeed they had done it, just as the Lord had commanded, just so they had done it. And we looked at that last time because Moses was the one who inspected the work, and we thought of how the Christian life, at the judgment seat of Christ, God is going to assess our work. But it's this expression coming up that we're going to pick out, and Moses blessed them. I thought that was really quite unique. And then once I was thinking upon that, it took me into the New Testament to think of another occasion, and here it is in Luke chapter 24, we'll read from verse 48. And you are witnesses of these things. Behold, I send the promise of my Father upon you, but tarry in the city of Jerusalem until you are endued with power from on high. And here's the connection. And he led them out as far as Bethany, and he lifted up his hands and blessed them. They came to pass while they blessed him, he was departed from them and carried up into heaven. Here we see the connection between Exodus chapter 39 and Luke chapter 24. Here we have a blessing at the finish line. Maybe you finished something big, an exam, a project, a season, and you just wanted to hear, well done. But in the two passages we have read, there are two powerful moments, one in Exodus and one in Luke. Both are blessings, but they happen at very different moments in the Bible. Moses' blessing is after the obedience of those who were involved in the construction of the tabernacle. Here we see obedience, approval, and blessing. Leviticus chapter 9, verse 23, Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. Here we see God's presence in the books of Exodus, and Leviticus follows obedience. But in contrast, Jesus' blessing appears before the mission. He lifted up his hands and blessed them, and he was parted from them and carried up into heaven. Before the disciples do anything, Jesus blesses them. They are sent after being blessed, not before. And so the difference is, with Moses, blessing follows obedience. With Jesus Christ, blessing comes before the mission. This connects us with the gospel, Ephesians 2, verse 8 and 9. For by grace you have been saved through faith, not of works, lest anyone should boast. So the shift is not work, the blessing, but grace and then purpose. And what this means for us is that we often think we need to earn God's approval first. But the Bible tells us, Romans 5 verse 8, God shows or demonstrates his love for us, and that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. 2 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 21-22 says it is God who establishes us and has anointed us and has given us his Spirit. God starts with love, calling, and blessing, and then sends us out. And so a final thought, Jesus didn't just bless once, he left them, of course, in that state of blessing. And Luke chapter 24, verse 52 and 53, we read, they worshipped him and returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and will continue in the temple blessing God. And Hebrews 7:25 reminds us that Jesus Christ lives to intercede for us. And so it reminds us that in the Christian life, we're not just blessed before, we're blessed now because we have Christ interceding for us. Moses blessed the people when the work was finished. Jesus blessed the disciples when the work was just beginning. So this, as we come to a close, let's remember Numbers 6:24-26. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you peace. You don't work for God's blessing, you walk in it if you trusted in Jesus Christ. Thank you for listening.